All right, welcome to The Real Build. I am your host, Bill Reiman, your broker builder, and today I have a special guest coming from St. Louis, Missouri. He is a third generation in his family's drywall company. They're one of the largest drywall construction companies in the St. Louis area. So basically, if you are in commercial office space, if you're sitting in a commercial office space in St. Louis, more than likely, Wies Drywall put the walls up. It's great to have this guy and share his knowledge on how he grew up to be one of the top drywall companies in all of St. Louis. Dan Wies, welcome to The Real Build. How you doing today?
Good, Bill. Thanks for having me on the show today. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's great to have you. And with everybody, I like to get started, with asking about your background. So let's talk about who is Dan Wies.
So I grew up in a little town here outside of St. Louis called New Melly, Missouri. Shout out New Melly, a little town like 300 people. So I kind of grew up out in the country. Family always came in to the city. That's where our office is based. And so, didn't even leave to go to college. Stayed here in St. Charles and went to college at Lindenwood. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. Born and raised here and kind of never left.
So going a little deeper into, the Wies family and everything, and let's discuss your business a little bit. Like I mentioned, you're third generation with Wies Drywall and Construction. How did the company start and why did you choose to be in the drywall business? What was your reason?
Gotcha. So the company started, my grandfather and his brother started the company in 1971. My grandfather actually, he just passed away in June 5th. And he would have turned 18 yesterday, actually, on August 29th. And that would have been 70 years ago is when he would have started hanging drywall. When he turned 18, joined the Carpenters Union, 70 years ago, started hanging drywall in homes in St. Charles County here. And so drywall wasn't just a way for him to make money. It was a way for his dad died at a young age. He had a ninth grade education. And so he supported his mom and the 6 other siblings that he had beside himself through construction. And so then, all his brothers, they had companies. And in 1971, him and another brother founded Wies Drywall. And that's how he got started, through taking care of family. That's what construction did for him, just put him instantly into the middle class. And so my reason, I was born and raised here in the company. I think I started, I have memories at a young age of coming to the office with my grandma, right? And just being part of the family business. I started working here when I was 12 or so, tying wires to hang acoustic ceilings, actually in the very office I'm in right now. We remodeled it since then. And so my reason, I came through college. I really didn't know what I wanted to do. And I was going to go, I can talk to people and was going to go maybe sell something or start a company. And my dad came to me before my senior year of college and said, hey, we're doing this large project. I need somebody to handle the safety on it on site. And I think that's you. Can you graduate college early? I'm like, well, no, but I can work my schedule and go take care of that. And so that's how I started in the family business. I got deep dive into like a 19-story building. So, yeah.
Hell of a way to start, right? So, yeah, that's why I wanted to interview you too, because we're similar. I've said it before too. I've grown up in the construction business and the building business. I'm second generation in our family company, along with my brother. And we similar situations. Both at a young age, we're working on job sites. Our dad always brought us to the job sites and told us we had to work, and whether it was sweeping, digging holes, whatever little small odds and ends as little kids, we still did it and put us through some hard work. And that's why we're involved in it too. I didn't think I was going to be a part of the construction industry, but you grow up knowing it, and here we are.
Here we are. That's right. It's kind of crazy how it ends up that way, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So as you know, this show is all about kind of delivering value to the customer. I want to try and get out as much as possible, as much information as possible to the customer as we can. So I want to start with how the drywall process is done. What should potential customers, look for if they're needing drywall work. So how do you go about, what's the steps within this process?
Yeah. So being a commercial contractor like we are, typically we'll receive a bid invite, or we stay in touch with a lot of our clients. And so they just say, hey, I need a bid. And so we'll go through the drawings. Normally we have a set of project documents. One of our estimators here will comb through those documents and figure out, every little intricacy and even some of the loopholes in those documents. And then we'll put together a price and a scope of work and alternates and kind of whatever the client's requesting. So that's where we're a little bit different, is 99.9% of the time, we always work through a general contractor. And then, then we'll start, if we get awarded the project, then we'll start and put track down, top and bottom track, and put walls up, and plumbers and electricians and mechanical, and everybody else comes in. So it's kind of how we get started.
Good to know. So let's keep going. So your family's company is one of the largest construction companies in all St. Louis, drywall companies. What are you doing to stand out from the rest of the many contractors in your area? So how do you guys get to the level that you are, and what should people take notice of when choosing a contractor?
So our thesis around just contracting and just how we treat people is like, we truly want to give people the respect that they're owed. Obviously there's ways that you can be, potentially taken advantage of in that, but we always try to give them the respect that they're owed. And so for us to stand out from other contractors, there's a lot of loopholes, like talking about those construction documents, there's a lot of loopholes that you can do in there. And we always try to pick out those loopholes to our clients, because our goal is to make them successful. I could take a very selfish approach and make it not that way. But, we try very hard to make sure that there is no surprises when we're executing the project.
Okay. And
so what should people take take notice of when choosing contractor? They should, the contractor should be looking out for them and should be looking out for their success. And so, that it's just kind of those attitudes, as humans, right? We can generally feel when people are trying to take advantage of us or not. And so it just kind of that feeling of, are they communicating well? Mm-hmm. Are they, saying, are they really taking an interest in what they're doing? Are they really taking an interest in you and your project and the success of the project? And anyway, do they just seem like a great craftsman? And do they have everything else lined up? Do they have insurance lined up? Do they have, all these other relationships lined up that they should? So.
Yeah, exactly. Great answer. I mean, it's all about, just the communication with customers, how, going about everything and communicating throughout the process to them. And then also the quality of work too. I mean, that's the main thing. There's unfortunately people that don't see quality right off the bat, and then they get in with another contractor and they experience that, and it shoulda, coulda, woulda, and so on. But we'll dive deeper into that here in a little bit. So I want to talk more about how Wies Drywall and construction got to be so big. You obviously manage a lot of employees. What processes did each generation take to grow and expand the company? What are you doing to continue growth in the company's legacy?
So it's funny to hear you say that, because I don't really think of our company as really being that large. Because we've been bigger, we've been smaller than we are now. We just, at the end of the day, we like to have a group of clients that we work with, right, that we really understand each other and we really jive. Because, the last thing we want to do is have any kind of disagreements, any kind of, fighting, any kind of, we want to make sure that they get taken care of and taken care of well. And, we try to do the same thing with our employees. Obviously we have multiple, employees that have been here for, we have other third generation employees besides me and my brother.
About how many employees do you have right now?
We average about 125 employees a year.
Okay.
So yeah, it's one of those deals where, you just take care of people, right? If you take care of people, I'm a firm believer, whether it's a client, whether it's your employees, whether it's, the person sitting on the side of the street, right, that will never buy anything from you. If you just take care of people and do, positive things in the world, I truly believe that, that just giving other people the respect that they deserve, really makes a difference. So.
Yeah, and I agree too. I mean, taking care of people, even if they don't even contract with you to work with you too, even
Totally.
telling them too, okay, you made a different choice. I actually did this the other day. I'm sorry we didn't get the opportunity to work with you, but if you ever need anything, feel free to reach out. I'm here to help.
Absolutely.
It's maintaining and keeping that relationship too. So how can, on that question though, to dig a little deeper into
Yeah.
it, with over 100 and something employees, how are you managing all those employees to keep what you said in line?
So we have multiple layers. So we have, the president.
Okay.
I'm the VP. We have project managers / estimators. We have then superintendents. We have 4 superintendents. We have, multiple foremen, 20 to 30 foremen. And most of these people have been with us for, probably 15, 20 plus years, Bill. And so, they kind of know how we are. They know how we operate. They know, and so just keeping that company culture going and continuing that company culture, passing that company culture down is tremendous. And so that's how we continue to make sure that we have, a good product delivered, is just by truly just, like I said, just taking care of people, but it goes, I guess it's a lot deeper than that. A lot of these guys, frankly, my grandfather hired them. A lot of the guys that are in upper levels now, my grandfather hired, and just keeping kind of the foundation that was set, almost 50 years ago, keeping the foundation going is truly what has kept us just continuing and maintaining and putting out quality product on time, safely.
Awesome. And that jumps right into the next question. So I always discuss quality materials with every contractor on my show. I mean, we're big on quality. That's what we kind of sell ourselves on, and our details too. You can't skimp and cut corners. Unfortunately, there's a lot of contractors out there that do. I'm sure there's some in your area too that you hear about that, they're cutting corners and then you're probably going in and fixing their problems too. What materials are you using or things are you doing to stand out from your competition?
So it's really hard. I've been thinking about this question.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of a difficult one. It really is, because, we always try to use, obviously we use quality products from quality manufacturers. We prefer to use USG products, especially USG muds. I mean, we pretty much always use USG drywall compounds.
Okay.
They put out a phenomenal product. But we're purely, being a commercial contractor, we're driven off of oftentimes meeting specs and through the spec book and what the architects put out. So, we have to go through a submittal process. So we're always submitting, the products that we're using. And yeah, oftentimes there's products that we can submit that are better. We'll submit, say they spec black iron for a ceiling or something for that matter. We'll put a short span system in place or something like that, try to sub that out, and they normally oblige that. But, I guess I don't even think about the opposite end of that question, just because that's the process that we're in. We always have to, we have to use quality products, because if we don't, they're going to call us back and say, hey, you need to come fix this. Mm-hmm. So, we're always seeking just to use the best and quality products that we can,
or it's like I said too, you're the one going to fix somebody else's because they didn't do the quality work.
Totally.
So
oftentimes it's as well as putting the right materials in the right place too. So thinking about when you're hanging a bathroom, making sure that you have the correct, moisture resistant, whatever tile backer or water board or whatever that is in the right spot. That's huge as well.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Great info. So I want to talk a little bit more I want to talk about price with you, obviously. And I ask this all the time too, because you hear the word price, it can be a scary thing for some people too. I mean, that's what a lot of people look at, as too, and no matter what business you're in. And, we both know, so we both know it's big for our customers, no matter what industry. Like I said, what should customers know about upfront when discussing pricing structure with contractors? So if you're, say you're bidding on a job or whatever, how do you go about, the guy that says, all right, well, this guy's this much less expensive than you. How do you win that job then? What do you say to do?
Yeah, oftentimes it's a matter of scope. So most of the time when because what are we doing? We're exchanging, efficiencies and labor hours, for money. There's typically not much variance in the cost of the products, that I buy compared to my competitors. And so a lot of times it's just how we look at a project. And so when we talk about that, unless it's, astronomically cheaper, right? Let's say, 10% cheaper or something, oftentimes it boils down to scope. What do they have included in their price that we don't? And so that's why it's so important to do a thorough scope review and truly spend the time up front to make sure that the contractors that you're using truly have everything in all encompassing of what is included in the documents in the spec book.
Okay. And so let's go into, let's discuss the pre-plan. I want to kind of go back into the stages of what you're doing here. So let's talk pre-planning. So before, we'll stay on this topic of price. So before you get the job or whatever, so what should customers look for in this stage? We both know they're going to, shop other contractors. So what can we do to help them select the right contractor based on quality also, and also connection and not just on price?
I mean, one of the biggest things is probably just getting referrals from other quality people. That is huge. If somebody comes to me and says, or whatever, if I have a general contractor that comes to me and they want us to do business together, and I'm like, I don't know. I've never met you guys before, so what am I going to do? I'm going to go online. I'm going to look up online. I'm going to, potentially go and reach out to some of my other contracting partners to try to see who they are. And so that's a lot of it, just making sure they have a good reputation. That's tremendous, and then making sure that they are responding, making sure they know what they're talking about. Ask them to see other projects they've done. That's just getting that kind of information, quality people are quality people typically, and they're going to do work. They're probably going to be busy, right? Especially right now. And you're probably going to have to wait a little bit if you really want, the A team on it.
Yeah. And I think you're spot on with basically see what other projects they've done too, because if you got the portfolio to show versus the guy that's done 1, 2 jobs, maybe 3 jobs, that should stand out as a big difference to you right there. Like with our company, we've been around over 25 years. So we have the portfolio to back ourselves up as far as how many homes we've actually built.
Right.
And sure. Same with you, 3 generations, 70 years later of jobs. Like I said, you probably did majority of the stuff all over the St. Louis area there after all those years too. But
we've done quite a bit. We haven't done much.
But I mean, it's such a big thing though too, because I like to bring this topic up because a lot of people do look just at the numbers and then they end up regretting it, after the process is over with because they didn't really think it out. They see a number in front of them, they can't, and you try and explain to them why you are better, even though you're a little bit higher, why, and still they can't. And it's just, and we're not meant to work with everybody. That's the whole thing, but it's something I like to bring up too.
And also just fit. There's some clients that, you just mesh with better. You get along better. Your teams get along better. That's just huge. Like do business with people that you get along with. That's pretty big as well. So yeah.
Yeah, the connection. That's another big one too, because connecting with somebody versus not, if you might as well as just, and I've had that a lot too, where if I didn't connect with somebody and I knew it was going to be kind of tough, working with them, why would you even want to work with them? Because more than likely it's going to drag out longer than it should. You guys aren't going to get along, and they're probably not going to write a good review about you towards the end anyways,
Right.
because if you're not getting along with them. But yeah, spot on there. So we both know, jumping in the next thing, we both know the building economy has been great.
Yeah.
Are we at the top of our market with construction prices? So what do you do when a customer asks if they are buying at the top of the market with, as far as your cost?
With labor prices and material prices,
Because I know that, yeah,
there's no better time to build than right now.
yeah,
I mean, they always are going to go up. You
yeah,
know, um, I mean, so we're in a union market, so our employees get raises every year. And I very rarely see material pricing goes down. Normally it stays the same, or goes up. So I mean, oftentimes if you're buying towards the top of the market, you could wait till the winter time around here in St. Louis, and maybe get a little better price, a couple percent better. But if you wait another year, you're probably not going to get a different you're not going to get any lower price than you will today.
yeah. And see, we're not union down here. It's kind of the same thing, though.
Yeah.
I mean, material and everything's going to go up. It has year to year, and
Right.
based on the economy and everything, or what's going on as far as government and everything too. But
Yeah.
the busier everybody is, the more labor they're probably going to charge too. Uh,
Totally.
so it's, I mean, waiting on to build a house, it can be, you don't know when it's going to happen. That's the thing. And is it
Right.
really going to benefit you to wait too? So that's,
Right. When you really start looking at the costs of what goes into a project,
mm-hmm.
I mean, very rarely is it dependent on, especially like a home, very rarely is it dependent on how the busyness of everyone. There's way more factors that go into it. That might take a 5%, difference on any given number at the time, but it's not going to see a 20% difference.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I mean, I've had people tell me they want to wait a couple of years to see what happens before they build something, because they think, the economy is going to go down or whatever reason. But then what happens if you wait a couple of years and it's even more money? So
Right.
it's and labor and everything and materials are still going up. It does, but it's all based on what the person, their thoughts and everything too. But I mean, if you're ready to do something and build, I mean, now is better than ever, in my opinion, just like you said. So, this one may be tough, but I just wanted to ask, what can a customer do while drywalling a home that is cost effective? Is there anything that they can do?
I mean, that is a tough question. um, because being cost effective, I mean, not put as many, if you have a nicer custom home, right, and you're concerned about the cost of your drywall number, maybe not putting as many radiuses in it. Anything you can do that would cut time out of it. So
Okay.
thinking, straight, flat walls, where a nice, efficiently designed home would probably be the best.
So do you guys, because I know one cost effective thing down here, and I don't know if you guys do it up north where you're at, but there's either smooth coat down here or there's a texture, they do a textured
Yeah.
look on the wall. And I know texturing obviously is less expensive than smooth coat, because smooth coat, depending on the level of the finish too,
Right.
for those who don't know, smooth coat, obviously smooth. Textured, you're going to have a little wave in the wall, a little texture, hides imperfections and so on. But I know that's a difference down here where they can save costs. I don't know about up there. Is that something?
Or we don't do a lot of texturing up here.
Yeah,
Pretty much
that's what
everything's
I
a
thought.
smooth coat. Yeah. Yeah. But that would be one way, because you can save on your taping expense.
Yeah.
Um, because you just gotta basically fill the joints and then you texture it, and you don't have to spend all the time in finishing it and sanding it and all that. Yeah, that would be definitely be a way.
Okay. And so we kind of brush on this. Being such a big company now, managing all the employees you have can be tough. You brushed on this a little bit, but you want to deliver the same quality product that you have been for years. How can you maintain the same standard and service to the customer with so many employees? Let's dive deeper into that. I know we kind of brushed on it a little bit on one of the last questions.
Yeah. So we don't have, if we have, let's say we have 125 employees going at any given time.
Mhm.
Normally we'll have, larger projects and smaller projects. Typically the majority of our employees will be on larger projects, and we're not going to have a ton of new people on those projects either. We probably, like I said, the majority of our employees have been with us for more than 10 years. Maybe 20% have been with us, or 30% have been with us for less than that. But we also have a very good mix of people that have been with us longer and shorter. And so a lot of it is just making sure that your standards are held. So when we do bring somebody new in,
Mhm.
we put them with somebody that's been with our company for a long time. So that way they understand our process, how we do things, can train them, can show them the right way on how to do it. And so, yeah, I mean, that's a lot of it. It's just that culture, right? Just making sure that they are looking out, following the blueprints, doing everything like what's on the drawings, building things correctly. A lot of it, that's just what it boils down to, is just that culture of we do things right, even if, frankly, even if we lose money, we do things correct, the right way. And that's how we maintain it, right? That's how we continue, because we want to be known for quality, efficient work.
Yeah, it's constantly putting it in their heads too.
It is.
I got a new guy that works with us too, and it's constantly repeating that this is what we are. We're a quality company. We may not be the cheapest company out there or whatever, but we're known for this. This is our reputation. This is how we do things, and so on. We keep a clean job site. We constantly are checking them at least, more twice a day, if not. And it's always maintaining, keep constant communication with the customer and so on. But you put that in their heads too.
Totally. And
Exactly.
that's why we always pair newer people up with, or Cubs or whatever. We pair them up with somebody who's been with the company for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So that way they are well aware,
Yeah.
by the time that, what is expected.
Yeah, and I mean, unfortunately, there's businesses out there that don't do that, and and it's a free for all. Mainly, all they care about is throwing a product up and getting done and getting a paycheck too, and let's be done with it. And it's unfortunate, and yeah, it's even like you said too, which I like, because we're the same way. Is even if you got to lose a little bit of money to take care of somebody, you got to be willing to do it. We just had a situation recently with a garage floor that it was on us. I mean, they're out of warranty, but we're going to take care of it, and then we're going to help them fix it too. And it's on
Right.
us, because it should have not happened. So most other builders would probably just be like, "Well, you're out of warranty. Sorry. See you later." Unfortunately. So
Right. Definitely happens.
yeah, exactly. So maybe another tough question for you, but product knowledge is key. You should know as much about a product that you can. How are you applying this strategy?
Man, I tell you, that is a tough one. It is, because products are changing every day.
Yeah.
Uh,
And that's the thing. So how do you maintain and learn, and how do you know what's the best product, and let's go off of that.
A lot of it boils down to, since pretty much everything we do, just like, in your business, everything we do is custom. And
Mm-hmm.
so it truly is on keeping my estimators, project managers educated on what's out there, and then getting buy-in from my superintendents, who are making sure that our quality is there, and our foremen. But a lot of it is just, we have some really good vendors that we work with, and they'll swing by, intermittently, with new products and showing us new things, going to trade shows, checking out the new products at the trade shows. I pretty much go to all those and check those out. A lot of it is, a lot of our core products, they don't change a whole lot. Just making sure we get the right product in the right area, though. Like with drywall, you're working on with different core fire protection boards,
Mm-hmm.
things like that, moisture resistant, what all those look like. And so, just it's constantly changing, but at the end of the day, it's, normally architects are pretty good as well about speccing the correct products and putting them in the right spot. And then we go through the submittal process to double check to make sure that we are putting the right products. And then, there's an engineer or two that'll come by and check and make sure we're putting the right products in the right spot too, because we're dealing with a lot of fire protection issues. We're dealing with a lot of those things like that. So public safety. So it's huge to make sure that we're staying on top of that game.
And I mean, so we talked about the initial stages, the pre-planning and everything. So I want to talk about, the process a little bit more as you're going through it. What are you doing to guide your customers throughout the process, to help avoid unwanted surprises? So how are you guiding them after the initial, so you get the contract and then we're in between now. So throughout the drywall process to then.
Yeah. So being that we're a commercial contractor, we predominantly have worked through general contractors. We're part of their team. We're there every week. Foremen, superintendents, project managers that attend meetings, that go. We update them on where we're at, what is in front of us, because a lot of times, they'll get other companies like an MEP trade, mechanical, electrical, plumbing trade, that we're working tight with, and they'll say things are ready when, there's maybe a couple loose ends that they need to wrap up so we can get going. Because, oftentimes the drywall contractor gets used as the pusher for the project. So we come in, we blow it out and frame the walls, and then everybody else has to get in and put all their stuff in the walls. And then, oftentimes we make sure that all the other trades are done, so that way we can cover it up. Or sometimes the general contractor says, well, start covering it up and they'll get done, and so that happens as well, if they need to push the project to get something done. So, it's truly just being in and part of that team. Once again, being out in front so that they don't have any surprises. Proper communication is huge between us and the general contractor and vice versa. Some of the smoothest projects that we have, everybody they know what they're doing. They take care of the problems. They're efficient. They move forward. They have, enough people on site. You can always have too many people on site sometimes. But, just enough people on site to make sure that loose ends are getting wrapped up, that, that we're able to come in and hang it efficiently, and then we can tape it and paint it and get it wrapped up. So.
Yeah, and I'll bring it up again. Communication's huge. I brought it up in past episodes on, with whether it's builders or, subcontractors and so on with us. I mean, as long as everybody's communicating and then we're communicating to the customer too, it keeps everything online. The process goes a lot smoother and a lot quicker too for the customer. So, well said right there. So let's talk about customer service now. What customer service areas do you focus on the most? Obviously, customer service is very important no matter what business you're in. What things has your company done to create a great focus on customer service?
When we bring clients in and when clients choose to partner with us, we really do try to take care of those clients as if, they were one of our family members. Mm-hmm. And so that means if they have a project, we try to bid every project to them. Because oftentimes, it's like we're making sure that they don't need any numbers from us. And just servicing them, being in communication, being part of their team. It's a relationship. You buy from your friends. And so just continuing that relationship, being there, being steadfast in that relationship, that is huge. Just being, if they need to call and vent to you about something about the project that day, being that person that they'll call and talk to you, or if they have a second opinion, let's say they didn't use our company, that's fine. How can we help you? How can we, maybe put another set of eyes on it? Maybe the other contractor is doing exactly what we would do. Maybe they're not, but just trying to be just trying to be neutral, I would say, in those situations and looking at objectively. But just oftentimes just treat them like, I keep saying this, but just treating them like people, not treating them like dollars. Treat people like people. So yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing that I can say is just give people the respect and just continue to service them well and respond. If there's a problem, go
Yeah.
to them ahead of time. That is huge. I know with some of our subcontractors that we use, whenever there's a problem, they present it to us before we find it. It's like, oh, like I really respect them, because it's huge to be able to have that kind of relationship with somebody.
Yeah, I mean, it's being responsive, like you said. When they call, pick up the phone. Don't just let it be. If they're emailing you about something, they got a question too, and it's also explaining things to them too. A lot of there's unfortunately builders don't explain things out of why this is this and so on, or why are you getting charged this and what's the reason. If you explain things, and I like to actually pick up the phone rather than email, because I feel like the phone's a lot better to explain things, because email can come off in a lot of different ways versus verbally. So usually I'm the one within our company that's explaining certain situations to the customer, and then they're like, oh, okay, now I get it,
Right.
before they didn't. So but yeah, spot on with all your answers there. It's a huge thing too, and kind of stemming off of that too, to keep rolling here, building long-term relationships with customers is huge. I always ask this question because it's important, after their experience. It's not just about the paycheck, like you said. It's important to keep the relationship going no matter what. So how do you maintain relationships with the customer after the job is complete? What are you doing?
So, sorry, can you hear that tornado siren?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can edit it, don't worry.
Okay, there's a tornado siren in the background and it's really going off right now. So anyway, it's kind of crazy. Anyway, so oftentimes, right at the end of a project, my taping superintendent, he will go by that project maybe even a week or two later, because they're still painting and they're still doing all these things, and finishing out, putting cabinets in, and we'll just go back and just double check, like, hey, do you need anything? Do you need me to touch anything up? And just continuing just to reach out to the client about the project and making sure that they're taken care of. Oftentimes, like touch up, we don't normally include time for touch up, but we do. It's not a big deal to go by and touch a few things up for them, but just making sure that they're taken care of, that that they are the hero in the building process and to their client. I mean, and so just continuing to be in touch with them even after the fact of the project, and trust me, if they have problems, they let us know about those problems later. um but yeah, most of the clients are I would say the majority of our clients are repeat business, and it's for a lot of those reasons why.
Okay. And I mean, as far as like maintaining the relationship after too, are you doing anything with social media, email, any kind of stuff like that with them? Maybe mailing them something, any kind of reminders too, just keep keep the relationship going down the road. Anything like that?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we'll do handwritten thank you notes every once in a while. We'll do, whatever. I'll take a client out to lunch, and just say, hey, thank you for all the work that you've given us. Um, Thank you for letting us be part of your team.
Mm-hmm.
What's funny is we'll post some jobs on our social media. I don't know, it's just different because social media doesn't really necessarily, I don't know, it probably helps us. But we're active on it, but
Yeah.
not super active. We like to sometimes in our contracts, we can't always post pictures and things on social media with a lot of the stuff that we do. So normally if a general contractor is posting pictures of it, we'll reshare those or whatever that looks like. But yeah.
Yeah, and like to continue off the relationship thing, I mean, like I said, it's just taking care of them after the fact too, and even after the warranty's over with us. And I've said this multiple times, but we still have a lot of clients. We're open. We're allowed to. They can call us anytime. We'll try and direct them towards, uh, you know, uh, whatever they need. If they need a roofer, if they need this, they need that, or they need some small handyman, or sometimes I'll go out and do stuff for them too. It's just maintaining that relationship with them, and so they know that we're always there for them too, no matter what. And even if
Right.
there's problems that should not have taken place, and like I said earlier, if they're out of warranty and it's on us, we still take care of it too.
Mm.
And that's what's important too, just like you said. So anything else on that one for you, or that you can think of?
No, it's a lot of those things. It's just making sure, what is our game? Our game is not this job. Our game is 20 years worth of projects.
Mm-hmm.
And, for us, that's really where we go to. Our game is long term.
Yeah.
And so we always are looking out for the client, because it's not just the one project. I want to do them all. I want to have a relationship, and we want to just continue that game. So.
Yeah, it should be long term for everybody. Building that long term relationship is very important.
Totally.
So, last question. I ask this to everybody. What exactly do people need to look for when hiring a commercial or residential contractor, and why should they choose Wies Drywall and Construction as their contractor of choice?
So people should look for, and this is probably resounding throughout this, people should look for people who are really passionate about what they do. Generally speaking, if somebody is really engaged in your project, asking questions, trying to get in touch with you, unless you've just done a fantastic job of lining out the scope and everything that needs, because we definitely have those clients too, and we appreciate you guys. Just making sure that and having good referrals, having a good repertoire of projects. And if you're just starting out, I'm sorry. Because, it is tough. You can't, it's just like when you need 2 years experience to do a job and you're just out of college, it is tough.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always those people that are going to take that chance and take that risk on you. And that's great. Because if you're legit and you're out there to do good work and do positive work in the world, then great. Good for you. And so for Wies Drywall, oftentimes it's just, we're here for them. We're here to make them the hero of the building process. And that's why we're not always super proactive. That's why we're not always, we like to stay kind of behind the scenes and help our clients execute at a high level. And, that's what we're here to do. We're here to take care of our clients, take care of our people, and do it safely.
Awesome, Dan. This has been good. A lot of great information too. I really appreciate you coming on. One of the last things here, where can people find you or connect with you, like social media or whatever?
Yeah, so people can connect with me on LinkedIn, Dan Wies. It's W-I-E-S. There's not too many W-I-E-S's out there. Or I'm on Instagram at Dan Wies, Facebook as well, Dan Wies. So yeah, connect with me anywhere you'd like.
Awesome. Dan, I really appreciate you coming on this episode of The Real Build, and we will see you guys on the next episode. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you, Bill.